first relationship is you with you. And that's where to start. You know, this is where you absolutely have the most information that you can actually interact with and somewhat rely upon as being trustworthy in, and that is whatever's going on in the self it's your terrain of the universe to work on. And of course the self it's not limited, you know, to the skin. It's, or to, you know, what's inside the skin. The self is, although this is a really big piece, this is actually first relationship is who you really are, which is not limited to this incarnation, this skin suit, but it includes your personality, and it includes all the circumstances of the moment, the present moment, your history, your family line, your genetics. Whatever it is that I actually am is riding in this. That's one way I'd put it. Riding in this manifestation, this incarnation. And that's my assignment. That was my agreement. That was my, you know, I between lives, I signed a contract and I contracted into this, and it must have been a good idea. I mean, actually, it's a fantastic idea. With the very fact that we kind of feel enslaved by incarnation itself, I mean, which is being reflected, it's being projected into the circumstances of the outer reality. It's our own feeling of entrapment and enslavement that we are projecting, that we're creating as some kind of expression out there, so that we can get we can heal that part of us that may feel entrapped here. So I want to offer that this embodiment is such a gift, such a gift. Being able to actually not have to be aware of the whole, you know, and we are clearly not aware of the whole. I mean, you know, if you want to be really honest about it, our awareness, even though it may potentially have the capacity to actually be consciously aware and connected into the whole. Whew, it sounds very daunting. I know it's a really, really big universe in all directions. And so I would fry my brain. I would probably have to leave this body in order to do that. And I think that's actually what we do, is that when we finally let go of this incarnation, that we have a whole lot more available. But as far as awareness is concerned. But there's a whole infinity of awareness that is in incarnation. Many, many layers of infinity. Infinity of infinities in all directions. Anyway, that when we do let ourselves come in and experience incarnation, that the gift of the contract, the gift of the contraction into a limitation of how much you are aware of is, well, that you get to be in time. You know, some people have put time as the enemy, or the somehow that, but no, this being in time is actually, I mean, because we're in time, there is surprise. We have moments where we are now, and we don't know what's coming next. And so when something arises, we get to be surprised, and we get to learn new. you know, you got to come back into your experience, right? And the way that we know our experience, and again, knowing is partial at best, because we are we're contracted beings. And I say that in the most loving way possible. Not just through compassion about our contraction, but actually knowing that that can be a delightful thing and working for us. Yeah, the contraction is only while we're here. This is very temporary. It's this incarnation. It's really very temporary. So how do we have the best relationship? How do we have right relationship with this living experience, with this embodied living experience? It's not living. It's not real. It's just that our conception, our ideas about it, our conception of it, actually it's an interesting word to use. Our conception of it is also temporary and utterly malleable. It's also living. And it's interacting, you know, through our relationships with reality and what occurs. It's that I'm not contradicting that we are one with everything, and that there is no separation. I'm not contradicting that this is not real. I'm not contradicting any of those spiritualisms that are real. They're real. They also are true. They are also true. But, and it's very helpful to know that they're true. I don't mean to be saying anything negative about them, except when they don't allow you, except when people ascribe that that's the only reality and that they don't allow you to have this experience, which is generally not that I'm one with everything. It's like, you know, this experience is contracted, you know, and that's the contract, you know, that's the assignment right now, to allow, you know, let that be, allow that, and let yourself work with it towards the evolved endgame, which is the ecstatic union with everything, you know, the re-ecstatic union with everything, you know. And because we have this limited awareness, which is grown, you know, it's not static, it's actually quite dynamic. Our awareness, the shape of our awareness is very varied all the time. I mean, you know, a really, really clear example that our awareness changes is that we have a daytime kind of awareness, broadly speaking, and we have a nighttime kind of awareness that is a sleep awareness. You know, that's really clear that there at least is two different kinds of awarenesses, you know. But it actually goes way further than that. So you can be more or less aware in the awake state, in the waking state, and you can also be more or less aware in the sleep state. So many ranges of motion and depth of field, good way of putting it, and realms in which to explore, and under all conditions, and how far your attention and the quality of your attention and the way that it's interacting in whatever realms it is actually interacting in is the shape of your being in any particular moment. And that's a dynamic thing that's going on, you know? And to allow that you can be at the center of that, and to relax with it, and also allow yourself to move with it, and comfortably, in a way that you are both nourishing yourself and maybe stretching yourself, like finding the edge of your balance points and seeing if you can like go just over your balance edges and come back without losing center, and do whatever you can do to kind of work with your energy so that you can become more resilient in yourself. And if you can feel that you are supported no matter what, if you can let yourself feel the support of your vertical, basically gravity and source, and that is, because you're vertical, you're maneuverable, but you're not going to be lost. I mean, what a gift to be on a planet. This huge source of gravity that we are so intimately related into. I mean, this physicality is so related into gravity. The way that we walk, the way that we sit, the way our blood pumps even, the way we understand our orientation in space is so supported by being on this large scale being, this planet, wow, thank you. It's, I don't know how it works once you're disembodied. It's probably pretty wild. How do you not get dizzy? I mean, maybe dizziness is only a function of bodies, of incarnate bodies trying to coordinate through all of this life force, all my cells and atoms and organs and, the way it has to interact with the outside in order to maintain itself. It's, and then, me in here, whoever it is that I am. Clearly I have some effect, though, on how this works. I do have some effect. If I were to leave, this would fall apart. And it will eventually. But because someday I'll leave it. But thank you, body, for right now. Thank you, planet, for supporting me. Thank you, cosmos, for allowing me to be conscious. It's conscious. It's not unconscious. It's totally aware of what's going on. Like, God consciousness. God consciousness is like the ultimate awareness of the infinite of infinities, infinity of infinities, and what's going on there. So, whoa. So, and that's, I'm a part of that. We're all a part of that. We can't be separate from that, because that's what is. It's pretty intelligent. It's actually pretty sharp, So, it's coordinating what's going on. And for me to take responsibility that this is a good ride, that reality from here is good. I am creating the universe. I am creating my relationship to the universe, which cannot be separate from what happens in the universe. It just can't be separate. It can't be separate. I can have a very limited awareness of how my beingness, how I'm being, is interacting. I can have a very limited awareness, and we can really, really, really limit that. We actually have capacity to be in choice about how much we are in awareness or not. And being aware of your emotional contractions, your tension, which are felt through tension, fields of tension and areas of tension, physically, emotionally, and even mentally, where you get, tense on certain idea forms, thought forms. Yes, so we have the capacity and, to create, to move through tension fields. In fact, the whole contraction is a commitment to a certain kind of tension field of limitation. That is not enslavement. It's an experiment. It's a dance to engage in, and it's not stuck. It can be very fluid. It can be very joyful. It can be very revealing and surprising and unknown. And yet you can explore with some consistency because of the contract and the maintenance of certain kinds of fields that the more that they are in alignment with this source field that is that your body is really supported by, and not just gravity, but the whole, everything, the whole everything. The more that you can allow that that's so, the more you can relax and be supported with, and know that what's radiating out of you, you don't have to work at it.